Hi everyone and welcome to the last video commenting Arcane Season 2. Today I'm gonna be talking about Act 3 and I apologize in advance, but I had already recorded this but I didn't like the result, so I decided to record it again, and it's probably gonna be much shorter than the ones that I did before for Act 1 and 2, and it's not gonna be as scripted. So yeah, let's just dive into it because I have a lot of things to say, and yeah, I just hope that I don't miss anything. I've actually been grieving the show for the most part of the time, and I wasn't able to rewatch the episodes. I did it for both Act 1 and 2, but for Act 3 I can't. Like, it was very, very intense. Everything happened so quick, and I mean, I understand it, because they had to tell so many things in not that much time, so I understand. But it is true that it could seem a little bit rushed, and at times I remember it and I'm like, yeah, hell no, like that's emotionally draining. So I decided not to rewatch in order to make the video, and so I do not have any notes. So yeah, I'm just gonna try to remember every single character and try to talk a little bit about how they ended and what I think about them, basically. So to start with Echo and Jinx slash Powder, I would have never imagined that we would get something as episode 7, and it was so beautiful and yet heartbreaking, and it made me basically solidify my ship for, both Echo and Jinx. I was shipping them back in season 1, but, they didn't have that much interaction. The one they had, it was absolute fire. But, what I thought was clear was that Echo was in love with her, or at least had been at some point, but that Jinx wasn't really, in a great state of mind. So I didn't really know whether it was mutual or not. However, now that I've seen what could have been, oh my god. I love them so much. I love to see how how Powder was without all that, all the damage she suffered in like the real timeline. And also, I cannot believe that Echo sacrificed that timeline, which was so perfect, in which his life was practically perfect, to go back to his actual time, and try to save everyone. He literally saved everyone. Like, he saved the day, and then he got nothing in return. He was alone by the end of this series. Like, I mean, of course, he's not gonna lose, his friends and stuff, but like, he's lost most of the people he cares about, and I just I just can't with all of that. The only thing that helps me cope with it a little bit is that I absolutely believe that Jinx is alive. She just must have fled because she probably needs to. She needs to explore, go out, see the world, clear her head and her mind was yeah, that's what I meant, like her mind, and get that mental clarity that she had with Isha, but being by herself. But I do hope that she comes back, or that Echo sometime in the future just meets her somewhere else. I need them to reunite at some point, especially because we know that there's this scene that was cut off, that is the one in which after Echo prevents Jinx from unaliving herself, they have a talk about everything that Echo has lived in this other timeline. And the next thing we see is both of them going to the final battle, and Jinx is wearing his jacket, and Echo is covered in paint that's of, Jinx's colors. So that makes me think that maybe, nothing had to happen between them, but maybe they both realized that they did indeed have feelings for each other, and maybe decided to talk about it later, once the day had been saved. And of course they didn't get to. So I have a lot of hope, honestly, on them. It was a heartbreaking end, but at the same time, I think that both characters were so good, and especially Echo was missing for from the majority of the season, and still he was the goat. Like, I don't know, he was amazing, and he deserves a lot better. So yeah, that may be why I'm so hopeful about the future. Okay, now on to Jace and Victor. It doesn't matter how you see the relationship, but we need to agree on the fact that those two love each other endlessly. Like, the fact that all of this was like a kind of cycle that they kept on repeating and repeating and repeating until, it worked, like the plan worked, was insane. Like, I had already thought about, the fact that maybe it was Victor, the one who was giving the little rune, like the gemstone with the rune that made, Jace want to start studying hextech and all of that, or creating hextech, better said. Um, but I wasn't that sure, and yeah, it was, and still, like, I could have never imagined how deep all of it that it was. Sorry. Um, I feel like Jace has matured so much. I didn't really like him that much during season one. Like, I've rewatched it so many times, so at some point I started to, kind of like him and kind of understand him. But honestly, on my first couple of watches, I don't know. He was like this basic dude. And I feel like he has matured so much by now, especially, during his Silent Hill era during episode 7. So when he comes back and he reunites with Mel, and it's clear that they love each other so much, but they have probably outgrown those romantic feelings. They're probably into, some other shit that's a lot more important, and even life in the world changing. And Jace is kind of a dick there, but he instantly admits it and apologizes. So I'm very proud of him, because Mel had just gone through something insane as well, and she had been all alone by herself as well, just like him. And I understand that he was very paranoid at the moment, but yeah, the fact that he apologized so quickly and that he didn't question her further, I think that it was proof of his yeah, the fact that he's matured. And also in the end, when he doesn't let Victor carry the weight of it, the whole situation alone, I thought that he was, yeah, I cried a lot. I ended up this series loving him. Like, I would have never thought that when I watched it for the first time. But I really, really loved Jace. I loved Victor as well. Like, I don't need a bigger redemption for him. Like, I don't know. I feel like I've always understood him. Like, he had good intentions all along. It's just that he got corrupted and kind of controlled by the hex core. But I don't think he'd ever had any bad intentions, and that's what Jace told him to. So I really loved that kind of discourse that Jace made for him. I don't know. It was very beautiful, both visually and everything. It was beautiful in every single way, and I'm just so sad that they're gone. And yeah, I wish that I could have hopes for their future as well, but I don't know. I'm not sure they could be coming back. I think that this season is called, this series, this League of Legends series is called Arcane. So it was obvious that at some point that was gonna be like the major plot line, and it was them, the ones who had started and ended it. So I think that it's honestly perfect circle moment. But yeah, I'm gonna miss them so much. Now onto Mel and Ambessa, I'm just gonna say that their plot lines are a little bit left in the open, in my opinion. Like, it's not that the story hasn't ended properly for them, but I think that there's so much that can still be explored. Like, Mel's powers, like, what about them, and LeBlanc and the Black Rose, like, all of that. Can we please explore that a little bit more? Like, what was that Ambessa had going on with them? And what's, all these powers and all these connections, what are those going to, care for Mel in the future. And also, like, now with Ambassador, Mel has to, you know, be the head of her family, you know, and she has an army. So what's gonna happen with all of this, you know? And since one of the next series is gonna take place in Noxus, where they are from, sorry, I wouldn't be surprised if we followed Mel back to Noxus, if, you know, if we could see more about that. And honestly, I would love to, but yeah, we'll have to see. The whole war arc thing was very, very sad. Like, watching all those people volunteering, that, you know, a musician, a father, well, there were two musicians actually, but I mean, you know what I mean, that they're just normal people volunteering to fight for their people and for what they, you know, think is right, and them dying horrible deaths, because that's how, you know, that's how war works. And it was very, very sad, but also very well written, in my opinion. They didn't need to show us much of those characters. We didn't even need to know their names to feel for them, because we can totally understand the situation that they're in. And it's just, I don't know, heartbreaking. I feel like in this season there are quite a few, like, collateral deaths. Like, I don't know, for example, Heimerdinger was gone also in like a second. Like, he believed in his people, so he basically sacrificed himself to give him a chance to succeed. And it just, you know, it happened, and then we move on to another thing. And here, you know, during the war is exactly the same, because that's how fast-paced war is, and you don't even have time to grieve or to... You don't have time to do anything. Like, for example, when Vi realizes that Loris is dead, she's being, like, held down, and she cries a little, but then, like, she has to continue. She has to keep going, because there's a lot going on. And I don't know, when war is written this way and not that much in the kind of heroic and honor and, you know, that way, I always like it a lot more, because it's heart-wrenching and it reminds us that war is not cool. War is not something that we should be, you know, excited for. And I know that some cultures and some stories dive into those topics quite well, but for me, honestly, this is my preferred way to treat the topic anywhere. The only death I'd say was kind of funny was Maddie's. Honestly, such a comic relief, because that girl, I had her clocked from the first act. Like, I wasn't sure whether she was, you know, a traitor in every single way or not, because then Act 2 made me kind of, you know, think maybe she's a good cop, maybe she is actually loyal, but she's just a bad person, and, like, you know, is just waiting to have a chance with Caitlyn. I explored a lot more of that during my Act 2 video, so I'm not gonna get into it right now. But yeah, no, she ended up being a traitor in every single way. And yeah, her death, I mean, she had it coming. She deserved it. She was about to execute, like, publicly execute Caitlyn, despite of all. And Mel basically said, "I got you, girl," and that was it. And finally, we need to talk about my favorite girls, Vi, Kate, and Jinx. These three characters have my whole heart. Like, I love the whole cast. I wish we had, you know, had more of Heimerdinger, of Sevika, well, even Isha. You know, I wish that we'd had more time with every character. But these three are my favorites and have had quite a wild ride during this season. From the very beginning, it's been Vi, the one who had to choose between either Caitlyn or Jinx. She had to choose her girlfriend or her sister. She couldn't have both of them, and she was too loyal to both of them that she was not gonna give any of them up, you know. But that always costed her. She was constantly paying the price. Even in season 2, it still happens. And she's constantly trying to be with both of them. Even if she starts completely on Caitlyn's side and wants to hand down Jinx, the moment she finds out that Jinx is still her sister and is not just some crazy person who's trying to kill everybody. She starts trusting her again. She starts believing that she can be redeemed, and she pays the price for that too. Like, my poor girl is all the time trying to not sacrifice anyone because she's lost enough people, and if 2 people that she loves are still alive, why can't she have them both, you know? Well, that's literally her story during this season. Basically, she's either with one or the other. Like, she starts out with Kate, but then regains Jinx and loses Kate, and well, the moment they all reunite together happens, you know, everything that happens at the end of Act 2, and so Jinx is grieving Isha so how would I say this, like, she's feeling very low, very down. She's had enough. She's lost her mind for the last time. She wants to just, you know, quit. And Vi, even though she has Caitlyn back again, she still doesn't give up on her. And I love so much that, you know, both Kate and Jinx had been expecting Vi to choose one of them, you know, from the very beginning. But this time, both of them choose Vi. Like, this time, Kate takes the guards out so that Vi can, you know, go break free her sister. So she anticipates what she's gonna do because she understands that there's no way Vi is gonna give up on her little sister, and lets her choose her, you know. And from her side, Jinx is just done with everything and doesn't want Vi to, like, keep, you know, giving up everything for her. So she just locks her in and tells her that she should, you know, be happy with Kate, that she shouldn't be feel bad. She shouldn't be feeling bad for being with her, and that she deserves to be happy. And that was honestly so beautiful. And I loved how, I mean, afterwards, obviously, Vi was going through it, but in the end, Kate just made her realize that she had chosen her and Jinx too. Like, it's very interesting. But I mean, of course, Caitlyn had always been very similar to Jinx. I've been saying it from, like, Act 1. And that's the thing. What Jinx has done cannot be undone, but what she has done cannot be undone either. So she can't be that critical of Jinx without being that critical on herself. So she cannot, you know, hate Jinx freely without hating herself. And also, hating her is also making a toll on Vi, and is also going to, you know, probably resent the relationship. So she just chooses that. She makes that choice for them, and then Jinx does the exact same thing. So I don't know. I really liked the talk that Kate and Jinx had with, well, you know, Jinx was in the cell, and I really liked everything that went on after. Like, the fact that Vi finally chose herself, finally was with Kate. It was an amazing scene, so beautiful. The song absolutely slapped. Like, I cannot stress enough how amazing the songs are. Like, everything, the animation, the everything, in my opinion, everything is so well done. And I mean, we got a Cecile Lex scene that was amazing, and it was actually cut down, but I don't care. Like, it was so good. It was amazing. It was a very important moment, I believe, for the community. So yeah, amazing. Props to Arcane for that. And honestly, I loved that during the battle, Vi and Jinx could also kind of make amends. I mean, they weren't really in bad terms at the moment anymore, but I was happy that they were finally sisters again, if you get what I mean. And I just hate the fact that, you know, everything ended how it ended. I do trust this theory that Jinx is actually alive and has just gone away, because there's so much evidence pointing towards it. But of course, from Vi's side, she's lost her little sister, so it's still very hard. And I do believe that Kate believes that she's survived as well, but of course, like, she's not gonna tell her, because she doesn't have enough proof. If Jinx has, you know, fled, it's because she has her reasons. And Vi, I mean, by the end of the of the final episode, it's obvious that she had been grieving so hard, because when Caitlin hears her singing, she, that's probably the first time in a lot of time that Vi has kind of felt like herself, like she's just started to feel a little bit better. And that's why Kate asks her, like, hey, are you still here with me in this fight, And Vi answers with that beautiful phrase, the one about the dirt under the nails, which honestly, I don't know why anyone has a problem with it. I love it. I think it's so beautiful, so unique, and very meaningful. And also very in character with Vi, because although she's been kind of, depressed during this second season, we need to remember season 1, she was, I don't know, very goofy. She has like this sense of humor. And so her being, singing and making jokes, it shows that she's starting to feel better, and that she will eventually feel better. And of course she won't have to deal with anything alone, because she's not alone anymore. She has Kate, and they can be, happy now. So even if I'm gonna miss them, I don't think they're gonna appear that much in the future either. Maybe just, if there's kind of a Jinx reunion or something. But yeah, I don't know. I can only hope for the future to give me that ending, I want Vi to have her girlfriend and her sister. But yeah, for now, I think it was a beautiful ending. And I do understand that it can seem a little bit rushed, that, maybe they shouldn't have cut any scenes out. Like, they could have made, a very long episode, and we would have swallowed it. Like, there would have been no complaints at all. But I still think that these scenes are detailed enough to see the things that have happened in between, like, the thing that I commented before on Echo and Jinx. And for example, the fact that, okay, Sevika didn't have like a big part in this final act, but in the end we can see that she's occupying the Karaman seat in the council. So, it would have been Caitlin the one to inherit it. So we must assume that it was her who gave it to Sevika. And of course that doesn't, redeem her entirely, but I don't think she needs an entire redemption arc or like something grand to, to make sense. She was corrupted once, so she probably doesn't want to be in that position again anymore. And she knows that she kind of owes to Zahn, and actually they've always had this oppression problem, like Piltover has been oppressing Zahn for so long. So finally mixing a little bit the council and letting the people of Zahn be a part of it, instead of just waiting for them to decide for them, is a good sign that their society is going to start to improve, to change, At the end of the day, they fought this war all together, and it's the right thing to do. And Kate, as I've said, she probably doesn't, I don't know if she doesn't trust herself or if she just doesn't want to have that kind of responsibility. But either way, it honors her, because she knows what she wants and what she can and what she cannot do. And she just wants, the best for everyone. So even if she may have wanted to occupy that seat, she still gave it away to Sevika. So I think that it was, very good of her. And yeah, I don't know if I'm missing anything. I absolutely love this show. I cannot believe that it's done. I can only hope for, crumbs from these characters in the future, and to hope to like the rest of their work as much as I've liked Arcane. It's definitely the best animated series that I've ever seen. I absolutely love it. It's become one of my favorites for life. I'm still grieving. I still can't believe that it's over, but I guess that it's time to pack this video up, because I don't really have anything else to say. Just please tell me down in the comments if you've seen it, if you like it. If you've not seen it, I've spoiled everything for you. But yeah, tell me if you liked it, if you are happy with it. I know that a lot of people aren't, but honestly, I personally am very happy with it. I would have maybe changed a couple things, and I would have definitely left all the things that they cut out. But despite of that, I think that it's an amazing series. I love it so much, and I know that I'm gonna rewatch it so many times if I feel that I can take, the emotional damage. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and bye!